Well, it was good while it lasted. That's the best way to really start this off. Welcome to another WWE Monday Night Raw Popcast, exclusively here on the Popcast Network. My name is Owen. Joining me, as always, is Ashley.
Fuck Deacon's watch. A crime just happened in the ring, and it's Absolution's fucking wrestling.
Yeah. That was abysmal. But then again, that's what happens when you bring someone up that's not ready and you try to put them on the main stage because of... See, again...
Fuck everything. Just... Also, Kevin fucking Dunn, can you stop thinking you're Paul fucking Greengrass and cut camera every half a fucking second? I'd like to focus on the match, not get fucking nauseous. What the fuck?
I mean, in essence, maybe they're trying to cover up the botches before they happen. But nope, that just basically called spots right on national television.
Because every time they cut, they cut to an angle where they're going to fucking see what's happening. Whether it's a dodgy move or calling the match in the ring.
This was rough.
And the thing is, what a shame the third hour fucking happened. Because the first 2 hours was fucking incredible. In so much of a good way.
Yeah, because it was one solid match.
No, well, yes, no. It was 6 pay-per-view quality matches to some extent.
Right, but technically that was disguised as a gauntlet match.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the... Oh, God. We'll get to that later. So, we literally open up with the gauntlet match. All 7 men.
Following the trend of fuck it, just put wrestling on, people will watch it.
Crowd was kind of iffy, but they actually won the crowd over pretty much middle way through.
Well, keep in mind, these crowd buy these tickets months ago, and they're used to sort of nothing happening.
Right.
You know, it's going to be a boring show with average stuff. Ever since I can't say it's the new regime, but let's be honest, ever since the Royal Rumble and ever since, you know, the new launch of the next 25 years of Raw and whatever, we've had shows start with very little promo or no promo at all and just a fucking awesome match. I mean, I'm trying to think back. Can I find somewhere where... I'll see if I can get whether WrestleView have got history for the Raw results. Raw results. I'm literally going to go back in the... Yeah, I don't want to know. Oh, come on, guys. The results archive. I have to go here. It's not coming up directly. But last week was Cena AJ, wasn't it? From what I remember.
Something like that.
I'm trying to find a full link of the stuff so I can actually get a list of them. And of course they're not there. F4W. I'm trying to get a list because I'm trying to like make a point of like, because I don't know what this is. Like, part of me wants to say it's a new regime, but we know it isn't, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
The new regime is, what the fuck did that click that for? That one, please. There we go. No, not Impact Wrestling, for fuck's sake. So yeah, last week had the random 5-way, and I'm talking about the match, not the setup for Fastlane. Fucking hell. Yeah, there was a little bit of a promo with like Cena and Miz, but it was to build up the Chamber because obviously they were both in, and pretty much soon after we had obviously Cena and Miz last week. The week before, they started off with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt right from the off. With no sort of build up, just a little sort of mini promo from the start. And then right after the Rumble, we had the whole Stephanie, Asuka, and Sasha setup. And then after about 10 minutes, we had the crazy Braun Strowman murdering Kane, last man standing thing. So apparently the new gimmick is just give them fucking wrestling. And you know what? As a wrestling fan, and I know WWE hates that sort of word. It helps the product immensely. And it made sense not to interrupt the flow by having the promo sort of on the screen while the match is happening. But the sort of inset backstage promos with the wrestlers giving their reactions to the loss or whatever, it was perfect. It told the story like it had to. It was, I mean, technically it is the longest match in WWE history because it went on for what, an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
At least. So they started off with Roman. Oh, well, actually, they started off with a moment of silence in memory of those affected by what happened at the Parkland shooting thing up in Florida.
I almost botched the actual introduction of Parkland's name.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, Parkland's," like she remembered what it was called.
That was that should have been the first indication to know that something tonight was going to be up.
Well, to some extent, yeah.
And it was. It's just it took until the third hour to get there.
And then, of course, we went straight to Roman booing. Because of course we did. And Charlie basically asked him about how he was prepping up, and he said, I'm not going to lie. It's my first chamber match, and I've heard all the stories and I've seen the previous matches. But it's only fair that it's worth noting that all the other guys have failed in beating Brock, and I'm the only one that did. And I would have beaten him at Mania had it not been for. And I was going to sort of make a sort of parody of like Burn It Down and whatever. I can't do that tonight because to misquote Brian Cage, Seth Rollins is a fucking machine.
Yep.
This guy worked 60-something minutes. He is the true 60-minute man. Because the match that he and Roman had was really good. The first fall, if you will.
Right.
Really, really solid. Nice back and forth. The usual Roman sort of no-selling stuff. But then the surprise came. Rollins winning with a roll-up. Clean.
And it was fine. I mean, it was a series of reversals. And then it looked like Roman was going for that side set out power bomb, but he got countered and he basically stacked him up and got a roll up and got the clean win. I mean, one of the things, like you talk about Roman no selling, is like the buckle bomb. It's like, no sell Superman punch. And I was like, okay. I want to take this time to mention how much I dislike Seth Rollins' suicide dives.
Oh, yeah. That's a given, but, you know.
I'm going to shove you backwards after I jump through the middle rope at you. I was like, okay. I can't do a suicide dive. Granted, I haven't tried in years. And with the way that my body is now, you never know. But I didn't think I could jump before either. But the thing is, I've been a recipient of many suicide dives in my time. And yeah, diving in and, hey, let's throw my arms out. Oh my gosh, it just gets me and I'm so annoyed. But like I said, Rollins gets the win.
So then it's logically like, right, it's a gauntlet match, so which of the 5 are they going to put in next? And they put in Cena.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a shame we can't say that because obviously this is all one match. We can't say this is match of the year.
Right.
But at least in terms of Raw, whatever this fall is, it's match of the year. Because Rollins and Cena put on a fucking clinic.
Well, yeah.
20, 25 minutes at least, I'd say.
Yeah, Rollins, of course. I mean, I have to say this because it's the truth. Rollins doing his best CM Punk in this match. They reminded me of Punk and Cena all over again. And that's fine. Because it worked. So a lot of great stuff here. So like I said, like the counter for going from the 5-knuckle shuffle into the back kick to the face. I mean, again, and the AA landing on the feet. Yeah, it's very reminiscent to what happened with Cena and Punk. The crippler crossface being broken out. Cena breaks out of it. I like how Rollins ends up hitting the ghetto blaster, goes up, frog splash, Cena kicks out. One of the best ones, Cena dives in with a flying body press, gets caught, he gets AA'd and kicks out. That was awesome. He goes for the superplex and of course doing the Falcon Arrow, but he doesn't sit out with it. It's basically kind of a twisting slam. So he did kind of like the deal, but not completely. They fought the STF.
He did 3/4 of the deal.
3/4 of the deal. Exactly. That's me and my sleepy haze. 3/4 of the deal. Don't forget, I've been up since 2:45 this morning. Anyway, needless to say, Seth goes to the Phoenix. Cena's out of the way, hits the AA, rolls through with the AA, but he lands on his feet. Knee strike, comes off, Avada Kedavra, blackout. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins.
I mean, we had false AAs. We had 2.99999999999 kickouts.
Yeah, this is great. I want to see these two work together a whole lot more. Like I said, very reminiscent of Cena's series with CM Punk. Down to a lot of the same spots.
Fuck Cena and Undertaker. Have them in a rematch at Mania.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm totally down with that. Make this happen. Make this a thing. I'm not just saying this because I was at WrestleMania last year when The Undertaker retired. And that moment, that'll be like etched in my mind forever, being there live, the atmosphere, how electric it was, and have it be a tad bit tainted, Terry Funk style, the next year where Undertaker faces John Cena. No, that should not be his last match. The ship has sailed. The match against Sting, the ship has sailed. It's over. Let us do Cena and Rollins. Please do it. Let these two work each other. Give these two a series of some sort. I don't care. Make it like a game of one-upsmanship. Make it I Respect You series. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. Just give me more of these matches, please. Well,
best of 7 for the vacated Intercontinental title. I don't know. Something.
And then Elias comes out as he's selling the ribs from last week, right?
A little, but of course he immediately runs in because his logic is this guy's been in 2 exhausting matches. I can get a pretty easy win here. Which was the logic to a solid, good match, which meant Elias got the win with Drift Away.
Yeah.
Much shorter than the other 2 falls, but logically there was going to be some shorter ones.
A lot shorter, yeah.
But it was the whole logic of Seth's body wasn't going to be able to withstand that long.
Right.
And Elias capitalized on it. So then next was Balor.
Balor came out.
Gave sort of a round of applause to Seth as he went by him. And then they went for a fair number of minutes. Nice back and forth stuff again. But eventually, I think Balor got the win with a coup de grace, didn't he?
Yeah, Balor wins with a coup de grace. Basically, we got to the end and worked the heat on Balor for a bit, and it was an armbar. So basically, at one point, it was kind of like Elias was trying to show a little bit of mercy somewhat, and it cost him. Because he released the hold, and then he goes for the armbar again. Balor gets it back, and then Finn double legs him and hits the double stomp. And then Balor ends up hitting the sling blade, the shotgun drop kick, the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. So Elias is gone, and here comes The Miz. I can't forget to mention Balor's still wearing his prime DJ Star-Lord jacket. And his Daniel Bryan gear.
He stole off Nakamura.
Yes, his Daniel Bryan gear as well.
Stole his gear as well.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, I guess. When he's not using it, it has to do something with it. Good and stuff here.
Here comes Miz Taraj.
So basically, Miz worked Balor's arm during the match, playing up the armbar from Elias and during that fall, which made sense. I like this. The picture-in-picture interviews with the eliminated combatants was interesting too.
And Miz getting the win here as well, with thanks to the other guys' distractions and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much was a numbers game from all the way to the end. Skull-crushing finale. Balor grabs the ropes. Ref gets the break. Here comes Curtis Axel. He yanks the arm across the top rope. Miz tries to get a flash roll-up. No. And Miz Taraj taking out with a Tope con Hilo on the outside. Balor high kicks the Miz. Shotgun drop kick. He goes to the top. Bo and Axel both hit the apron. Of course, they both get knocked off. and he gets caught. Balor's knocked off the top, and there is the skull-crushing finale, and he gets the win. And Miz celebrates until he realizes what's about to come next.
Your final match brought to you by the Gangster Hotline, Braun Strowman.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God. And Braun just like, it was brilliant. They did a backstage thing when it's like, okay, interviewing Balor. They had to interrupt it because they went, whoa, because there was a good old drop kick.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah.
This is good. Well, once again, I'm going to say right now, when Paul White first debuted in the WCW Power Plant, and we heard all the stories about him being able to do moonsaults, and that picture we saw in all the aftermaths of him drop kicking Shinya Hashimoto in New Japan. Yeah, what the Big Show was now, what Paul White was when he first debuted in the WCW Power Plant is what Braun Strowman is now. Without question. Braun Strowman will potentially go down as the best big if they keep up like this, and he's just getting better. It took me a minute to warm up to him, like I do with pretty much everyone, but still, it's there, and he could go down quite easily now as the best big man in the history of the wrestling business, as long as he keeps up the way he's going right now. He needs another finisher, though. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna give up my quest for a real finisher for Braun Strowman. But yeah, this was good for what it was. Miz got a lot more heat on Braun than you'd expect. And he actually ended up hitting the skull-crushing finale. But Braun just pressed him outside. He's like, nope, you land on the floor now.
Miz he hit him skull-crushing finale. He power pushed him off the pin, landed on Miztourage, and the great thing is obviously he was still recovering,
right?
From he was still recovering, so Miz crawled in, hoping to take advantage, gets a bloody lariato.
Yep, in every way possible,
and running power slam. Braun wins. And Charlie gets in the ring and says, you know, what's your thoughts for Sunday? And it's like, you know, she says, like, this is your first chamber match as well. And he goes, I don't fear the chamber. A chamber. Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can get the right line. So I wrote it down because, yeah, I made notes because that was weird. I don't fear the unknown. The unknown fears me.
Nice.
Yes. I'm winning, and I'm coming for the Beastie Boy Brock Lesnar.
He just got to fight for his right to suplex. Apparently, that's funny. Great line too.
You gotta fight for your right to get these hands. Yeah. I need to make a sample. Oh, and brilliantly, he's just like, you know, excuse me, Charlie, I've got some unfinished business. Running power slam to Axel, running power slam to Dallas. Miz runs to the back. Braun chases him, throws him back on the stage, drags him down the ramp, throws him back in the ring, gives him a running power slam, leaves the ring, and goes and gives Miz another running power slam. And that's where we end Monday night. Oh, shit, there's still an hour left.
I mean, I might as well have went to sleep. Oh, yeah, I kind of did.
And you missed the best bit.
No, I didn't. I watched the match.
No. Straight after that, they hype up, oh, yeah, 6 women's tag. Asuka's talking. And then we have the video package for Jeff Jarrett going in the Hall of... What the hell?
Yeah, hell is officially frozen over, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell is frozen over for the umpteenth, fifth year running?
Yeah, that Hall of Fame is proven to be, hey, anything can happen. Like, let's go back to the old tagline: anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. Yes, it can. The name has changed, but it is true.
Let's go back to the Triple H Hall of Fame. So yeah, it goes back to what? WrestleMania, I guess WrestleMania 30 with Warrior. No, actually, no, 29. 29 with Bruno Sammartino.
There's more than that. I'm sure there's more than that.
No, but it starts there, I'd say.
Let's see.
Because the previous year was Mil Mascaras, which made sense, Edge, which made sense, Ron Simmons, that made sense, and Yokozuna, because they're split up into sort of tag team divisions and everything. Because Road Warriors made sense in 2011 and Four Horsemen made sense in 2012.
I'm looking, hold on. So let's look. So yeah, it's weird. Like Bruno was big, Warrior was big.
Bruno was the
Savage.
first of the. This is the guy that would never go in, but Triple H did the deal.
Savage
Ultimate Warrior, I'd say, is the same. The following year, Macho Man.
Yeah, definitely.
To some extent, the following year, Sting. I would say.
I mean, he had a Hall of Fame. He did have a Hall of Fame career, but he did not really do much in WWE.
If not to some extent as well, Schwarzenegger and Snoop Dogg in terms of the celebrity wing.
Well, like I said, to be quite honest, you need to get Vader in there soon.
True. And then obviously last year, I mean, Kurt to some extent, even though it was sort of expected. I guess Rude would be like, why didn't they put him in earlier?
Yeah, exactly. Rude literally should have went in the same year that Hennig did.
Now, my question is, and this might piss off Owen.
Probably.
I'm wondering if the next one, because not everything's going by that list yet. Considering how we've got a very not WWE list, part of me, and especially because of recent events and whatever, part of me is wondering whether next week, okay, it's Cali, so it doesn't fit, but they go the final wrestler person, because they'll probably do a celebrity, because they didn't do one last year.
Right.
The final name to accept the induction be his son, Flying Brian.
That would super suck for me. I'd loved it.
Could they? Well,
I would hold it.
It doesn't really fit for New York, New Jersey, does it?
No, I'll tell you where it fits, and they need to do. As if they did WrestleMania at Ohio State, that would work perfectly.
Don't think they are they?
I mean, it's a big enough venue. I don't know why they haven't. Columbus really messed up the last several times they've had live WWE events because they had a pay-per-view and they didn't really do very well with their crowd. And the Raw and SmackDown crowds didn't do very well because Columbus used to get at least 3 or 4 events a year. It was a big market, a big hotbed for WWE, and now it seems like it's kind of tapered off a bit. And there was talks to doing a Mania in Ohio. And that would be a perfect way to induct Brian Pillman into the Hall of Fame.
So
I mean,
now I
obviously,
guess the
with
question is,
with me, there is literally two names in the Hall of Fame that are not in there that I would love to be there for. Hennig was the biggest one for me, obviously. I was not there for that. I was very happy to say I was there for Rude's Hall of Fame induction, deservingly so. And without a doubt, the only names left are Pillman and Owen, without a doubt. Unless they somehow put the Hart Foundation as a stable, which is a possibility, and that kills two birds with one stone that way.
part of me is wondering what they could do for the Warrior Award. And part of me is wondering, because you could do this as sort of because of Ronda, perhaps giving something to Matt Hughes. You know, the MMA fighter that, you know, got paralyzed in that the car and truck collision thing. And, you know, he just did the walkout at one of the UFC shows. Then again, like with Eric Legrand last year, it's probably going to be nobody obvious that we don't know about. Because there hasn't been sort of any big stories that I can think of where they've been doing charity stuff with a certain person. Because part of me feels that Don't Be a Bully, Be a Star might be the worst thing to debut when you've got Stephanie slapping a bitch at WrestleMania. Because if the Stephanie Ronda somehow combination is going to happen, they're going to want to forget all that line stuff, aren't they, really?
Probably.
So, yeah, because obviously that's 4 inductees in, and we normally have 6, possibly 7. We've already got, you know, so I'm thinking there's going to be a celebrity, but then the question is which celebrity?
Well, where are we this year? We're in New Orleans. That's tough. I mean, the one that I want to see, the one that needs to go in the Hall of Fame is Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
But again, New Orleans makes no sense for that.
But then it's not likely that Memphis is ever going to get a Mania.
No, I guarantee not. I mean, even actually, when Mania goes back to California, it'd be a perfect time to do it.
No, New York. New Jersey, because it's New Jersey, but they're going to push it as if it's New York.
Taxi, yeah.
Taxi, Saturday Night Live.
But if you really think about it, the gimmick for Andy was always, I'm from Hollywood, I'm better than you. So yeah, if you did it in LA, you still could do.
It's
both ways work.
It's
honestly.
New York. I think that's the obvious choice for 35.
Andy's going to go in 35. I could see that. That makes perfect sense.
So who would they put in this year? Because obviously they have done back-to-back years before. They did it with Mr. T and Schwarzenegger and Snoop Dogg in 3 consecutive years. So,
I mean, honestly, I could see. I mean, it's going to be a while, but there's going to come a time that I could see Fallon going into the Hall of Fame.
Could they put Shamrock in?
Ooh, I think
I'm just thinking because of this UFC stuff.
Burning bridges here too. I mean, Dan Severn would be a good idea too, because don't forget Severn and Shamrock started this UFC trend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm just thinking about that. So I'm getting distracted by. I'm thinking the possibility of they actually do Leo Rush versus to Neil Dashwood at WrestleMania weekend. Because, Joey Janela's a booking genius.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of the names here.
Because Bob Barker doesn't have a connection really to New Orleans.
No.
I'm aware of.
That's another name that's definitely going in eventually.
It's really, because Hugh Jackman don't make sense. Gronk don't make sense.
I could see Regis happening too, but that's another New York style. That's definitely a New York.
Yeah,
right there. If right now, considering the fact that Jarrett's going in, why don't we just cut two birds with one stone and have Arquette go in? They always have something every single year that everybody's a little butthurt about. David Arquette going into the Hall of Fame makes the most sense.
Would that be going in for infamous reasons? Because I wouldn't say even Drew Carey was an infamous reason. Because
he was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. It's not like he caused the downfall of the Royal Rumble by being in that match.
I mean,
some would argue Cornette was one of the many different knocked out blocks in terms of the collapse of WCW.
I mean, Mike Tyson comes to mind. That's going to happen. Yeah.
Tyson's already in, so.
So, I mean, that's the reason why I thought that. Anyway.
I mean, because of his domestic stuff, they couldn't do it, but they haven't put Lawrence in, have they yet?
No. I'm looking at the celebrity wing right now. It's Pete Rose, Refrigerator Perry, Bob Uecker, Drew Carey, Mike Tyson, Donald Trump, Mr. T, Schwarzenegger, and Snoop Dogg.
I don't know if there's anybody in chat that can sort of help us.
Doesn't appear Chat's kind of barren tonight.
Chad is dead.
Chad is Sivaco tonight. Yes,
they couldn't cope with a 2-hour match, I guess.
Understand.
Yeah, but it's honestly a case of. It's now a case of trying to work out who is. What's the room? I'm trying to find this rumored list from earlier, like Christmas time. Goldberg, which obviously happened. Bam Bam Bigelow, which they could still do.
They probably still will.
But that would make more sense for next year because of New Jersey.
Yep.
Surely. So I don't know whether that's where Jeff Jarrett stepped in. Ivory was in, Dudley Boys. Oh, and Kid Rock.
Yeah, I forgot about Bob Ritchie being in the Hall of Fame.
Kid Rock. You know what? I fucking hate it, but Flow Rider deserves to be in it more than fucking Kid Rock.
I don't like either one either, but I
mean,
you
know what? Considering how this is Paul's company now, fucking Lemmy, or just Motorhead in general.
Yeah, Motorhead's definitely going in without question. I just don't know exactly what year that's going to be.
Just anything.
Agreed.
Anyway, back to the shit. Back to this fucking third hour. One thing I actually will say before we get to that, the WWE Archivist Twitter account, which is basically whoever's in what is going to be the equivalent of the WWE Museum and all that,
Mm-hmm.
unearthed one of Jeff's old light-up jackets that he had back in the mid-90s.
Right.
And basically, by the sounds of it, it even lit up, so I guess they're going to have to rewire the fucking thing. Is going to be at part of WrestleMania Access.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm trying to think, with the Dudleys, what would they have, like the old school dungaree style outfit?
Probably.
Or one of the more modern ones? Like the 2000 style outfit? Yeah, when you put women through tables. I mean, with Ivory, you probably go with one of her. I mean, would they? I guess they wouldn't have a glow outfit, would they? Because it wouldn't have been on their watch. I mean, they probably have the right to censor outfit and I guess, one of her regular outfits. I mean, Goldberg is pretty fucking easy. And then we'll just see what happens at the next ones. So yeah, Hall of Fame stuff. Congrats to Jeff. I'm still want to know where my fucking gold is, though.
He's gonna bring it to you now.
Hopefully. Oh wait, he sold it off and put it in a ring. God damn it.
Should be a very interesting induction speech.
Yeah, especially because they can't acknowledge TNA.
Well, here's my. So I'm gonna guess that Brian James is gonna be the one who inducts him.
That would make sense because of the history.
Yep. And I would not at all be surprised if the last bit of the induction ceremony is both of them on mic singing "With My Baby Tonight."
The controversial thing would be getting Kurt.
God, that's gonna be interesting.
Let Kurt do it. I mean, what for Ivory? Would it be Stevie Richards? Maybe.
That would be cool. I would love that very much.
Or possibly Lita.
I don't think they want to give her a live mic again.
Or Trish, because of the era.
Maybe. Perhaps.
I mean, with the Dudleys, I mean, they wouldn't do it for Gertner.
That would be amazing. Oh my God, that'd be great.
Heyman would make sense.
Heyman's probably good.
Especially considering how Bubba basically run that company with him for a bit.
I'd say I'd say if you wanted to go with obvious, I go Heyman. If you want to go with kind of tongue in cheek, I go with Dreamer.
Yeah, to some extent.
But don't forget, we don't have Dreamer or Raven in the Hall of. Well, Raven's obviously not in the Hall of Fame either. So, but time's coming. Jeff Jarrett's on there.
Would you go in as Raven or Johnny Polo?
I do not think Vince ever wants to hear the name Johnny Polo again.
Johnny Polo. Then again, I didn't think he wanted to hear JEFFJARRETT again, but
Yeah, especially after WCW right when the last Nitro, where Vince basically buried Jarrett on the microphone.
GOONNEE. I watched that bit on the WWE's YouTube channel. Comments are disabled for this video. I wonder why.
That's the shock of the century.
Shock of the century. Asuka's degenerated. So Renee interviews Asuka in the ring, and she's like, "I control my destiny. The destiny of being world champ at WrestleMania." And she's like, "I beat her the last time." And like, oh no, they still haven't taught her English properly. And they're having to make her do promos. And then Nia beat the shit out of her because she was saying, "Oh, Sunday isn't for talking; it's about action." And of course, like Nia jumped to then immediately, gave her the Samoan drop and 3 leg drops, and it's like that was the least impressive looking domination that I've ever seen. And the way she smiles afterwards, it's not sort of like a bad girl sort of like smile, like, you know, a smirk style of thing. It's just like I'm on Total Divas smile.
God, with both Asuka and Bailey, I really think that they have done a disservice to both characters.
And Nia.
Yeah.
Nia had so much momentum with the whole "that's Amore" deal. And, you know, his decisions actually fucked up Nia Jax's career, not just his own. Because then it's like, well, she now has to be bodyguard to Nia again. I mean, the way they presented it, Asuka's winning.
Yeah.
So if she does go to SmackDown, like the rumors are to be believed, what the fuck happens then?
Good question.
Because the best bit is, like, if she manages to lose to Nia, and it's like, oh, it's a triple threat, and then, like, it'll be like Vince Russo with the swerve shit. He'll be like, I go to SmackDown. Like, oh. Either way, great start in sarcasm for the 3rd hour.
God.
So now we're jumping straight into random match number 2 of 3. But, you know, he had a 2-hour match. That's fair. Bar versus Titus Worldwide of Titus O'Neil and Apollo. He doesn't have a surname anymore.
What is the deal with all of these droppages of first or last names?
Till we get fucking John versus Seth versus Reigns versus Miz versus Elias versus Devitt, because they'll just randomly change his name back, versus Braun versus Burner.
Speaking of that, if they're going to drop names, why have they not just straight up just called him Braun? All caps, Braun. Let's talk about this 3rd hour, shall we?
Well, the thing is, Bar and Titus was a decent match, which Owen didn't see because he was asleep, or pizza, or both, or neither.
It was sleep. Pizza didn't come until the whatever you want to call the thing that happened.
So it was sort of nice logic. The heels were working over. I think they worked over Titus for a bit. He managed to somehow tag out to Apollo. And then they worked over Apollo. They got him in the corner. And they managed to take... I think Cesaro managed to sort of knock Titus off the apron. So he goes to tag back in. Apollo crawls over to his corner, goes to tag something, and it's like, well, there's nobody there. Cesaro gets tagged in. Sees Apollo in the corner. Obvious thing to do, charge at him. Charges at him. Apollo dodges it, throws Sheamus out the ring to avoid the double team, rolls up Cesaro, gets the 3 count out of nowhere and Titus Worldwide win. Because of the miscommunication and everything.
And there's your Elimination Chamber pre-show match.
I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know whether there's official confirmation on that yet.
No, there's not. I'm not aware.
I need to quickly Google. See whether that's been added in the past hour. Because there isn't sort of like any word of anything yet. Because they next ran down the card for Elimination Chamber. That we knew of, there was a 7-man Elimination Chamber to find out who faces Brock. A 6-woman chamber for the Raw Women's title. And Nia versus Asuka. With Nia getting a possible championship opportunity. If she wins. And then just randomly, oh, by the way, we're also having Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Great build up, guys. My fear is this means that the WrestleMania match is actually going to be a video package. The thing is, if they let the Hardys do their own stuff, a la what happened with Final Deletion, it weirdly might make a very sensible lull to entertain people at Mania.
I know
if they do it right.
I know he's working with NXT. I don't care. Let Borash be in charge of anything in the Woken universe. Because this isn't working.
Because the important thing about this is whether Matt wins at WrestleMania or not, they need to push. It needs to make somehow Bray look strong and credible. Otherwise, this will be what? The 4th straight Mania that he's got fucking buried? Because he got buried by Taker, buried by Cena, buried by Orton and whatever the fuck that shit was last year. Sperm and worms and creepy crawlies. Oh my. Yeah, S and W and C. And they cut their usual intercut promos with each other. Oh, and they're presenting that wrong as well and everything. So it's like, let's see how it goes. Then some Black History Month stuff. More footage from the visit to the Civil Rights Museum that they did back in Memphis. And then we get on with the main event. Because, you know, the women are the main event, honest. Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Bayley versus Absolution and their Twitter promo. With Paige bulking up by the looks of it. Obviously taking from the advantage of being a manager now rather than being a wrestler. And then finally Alexa Bliss, who gets cheered because, you know, heel. So let's establish the facts. Banks, solid. Few questionable bits here and there. Bayley, solid, good. Mickie, solid, good. Alexa, solid good. Absolution of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Ridiculous.
Way too fucking green. I mean, I quote Owen here. The worst abdominal stretch I've ever seen.
Yes.
Mandy Rose.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Oh, it's like, okay, you guys know, if you've been listening for a while, that I used to do commentating. I started out in the backyards like we all did. And then I actually did independent commentary for a bit. It was for local feds, but still, I did it. And it's one thing I think I'm pretty good at, and I know how to call a wrestling match. The issue I have with this is when things just look so terrible and so weak. I mean, this match sucked. Straight up. And it had nothing to do with anybody except for Mandy and Sonya. Mandy mainly. This is terrible. Oh my God. Some of the things they tried to pull in this match, just like left and right botches, to the point that the camera cuts basically were showing us every 5 seconds Mickey was reading them the riot act, pun not intended, for screwing up. This is bad. I mean,
it was also. I think I didn't manage to wake you in time for this.
Probably not.
There was a absolutely dodgy corner heads as a spot.
Nope, I don't think I saw that.
On Bailey from Mandy Rose.
She is terrible. I'm going to say the same thing about Mandy Rose that I said about Enzo. If she didn't have some sort of personality, they probably would have gotten rid of her a long time ago. She does not have it. She can get it because, don't forget, Trish Stratus just started out as a fitness model, and she became one of the cornerstones of WWE. Now, they're saying that about Mandy, and no, I don't get that at all. They should have just cut out the middleman and made this Peyton Royce and Billy Kay instead, and it would have been a lot better.
Absolution should have been the Commonwealth connection of Peyton, Billy, and Paige.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know what? Paige might not have fucking broke her neck then.
No, she wouldn't have, because
you had competent wrestlers with her, so Paige wouldn't have to carry most of the match.
Exactly. And the thing is, when you're the veteran, you have to carry the match yourself. Even sometimes veterans need to be like worked through a match if something happens. But the thing is that when Paige is on the apron and you've got Mandy and Sonya, it just doesn't work. It falls apart. And kudos to Mickey, really, for trying to bring this match together as best she could. I mean, Sasha did her job. Bailey was pretty much out of it most of the match, and she came in at the end. But, I mean, it's just what they've done to Bailey is just ridiculous. I keep saying this every single week. You have made who could have been your top female babyface ever in the WWE. And you basically made her into someone that gets booed now in the buildings because the fans just don't buy it.
All because of Fastlane.
It's ridiculous.
All because of Fastlane. All because of, let's put Bailey over before WrestleMania. Because, logic. By the way, I've just noticed there were 10 commercial breaks in that opening match. That's a record. That's a record.
That's
and
crazy.
It went an hour and 46. The weird thing is, it was that fucking long. It was more entertaining than the rest of the show. I would not be surprised if the Hulu edit cut out the entire last hour.
I would. Oh my
somehow.
God, that's a great idea.
I mean, it's timed perfectly at 2 hours.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
But thankfully, Alexa got involved in the finish because that makes sense. Mandy got caught with a suplex toss from Bailey. Mandy gets knocked to the outside to the happiness of everyone. Alexa tries to get a win on a flash roll up. Sasha rolls through, locks into bank statement. Alexa taps out. So thank God this match is over. And then we have been building for the last several weeks of the alliance between Mickie James and Alexa Bliss being reformed out of necessity.
Just
and tonight,
but randomly.
They pulled the trigger on it. Yeah, and tonight they pulled the trigger on it.
Because, yeah, Mickie made the save after the Absolution beatdown. So it's like, wait, so she's heel? She's face? Is Alexa heel? Is Alexa face?
The thing about it
is this the feeling of, oh, look, it's Bailey and Sasha Banks. It's Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. And it's Absolution. One of these teams is not like the other teams. One of these teams just doesn't belong. Can you tell which team is not like the other teams before I finish this song? I take it back. According to Observer, which may not be official times, the match went 1 hour and 53 minutes. Rollins and Reigns went for 21. Rollins and Cena went for just shy of 29. Elias and Rollins went for about 8 minutes. Balor and Elias for 17. Miz Balor about 11 and a half. And then 11 minutes for Braun and Miz. So, you know.
The only
issue, 4.5 minute tag match, and then 15 minutes of the women.
Well, here's another issue. The problem that I'm seeing is you gave away the finish to Miz and Braun at WrestleMania on Raw.
Well, yeah.
That was a mistake. You gave away the match that they want at Mania for the Intercontinental title, unless they change their mind again, which is possible.
To be honest, with the momentum and the problem is, like, I mean, the rumor is it's Roman and Brock.
I'm not sure at this point. I hope not.
But the way it looks, and if it is Brock going, and this would be such an irony. What if it actually was Braun?
At this point, I would mind it.
If Braun was the guy to actually properly manage to outwit Brock.
Well, another
so fucking perfect.
I will say though, I wasn't a major fan of the last time that they faced off, but the match wasn't really laid out the best either.
No.
But I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt and actually give them a chance to show what they can do, especially with this new love for Braun Strowman now.
Yeah, especially with the Alexa thing.
Oh my God, yes. That's the reason why Alexa's going to end up turning babyface is because of mixed match.
And the bloody and the bloody shit last week with the bloody double bass. The double bass being played like a guitar. So from there, it's like, so the other rumor was it was going to be Miz and Strowman.
Right.
Now, if you do like for like, I don't want to see Miz versus Reigns again. So, which part of me is now thinking, have Reigns and Rollins win the tag titles off the bar, and that's Sheamus's retirement, if he is as injured as he says he is, or the rumors suggest, and have Miz versus Balor.
That's fine.
And then even if you don't have the title change hands, possibly make it change hands at Backlash, because you can't have too many titles changing hands, because otherwise it'll be like, well, it's the change hands of Mania. Because at the rate we're going, there's going to be a lot of titles changing hands. Possibly. Even on the SmackDown side. So on that logic, then if you take that out, who does Elias go with? Because if Cena's getting Undertaker, what does Elias get paired up in? I mean, I guess Elias could be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
God, that's such a waste. If he's in, he almost has to win.
But I honestly, I think he'll get to the final two, but then get eliminated by Cass. Or somebody like that. Somebody that we don't think. Because remember, it's the curse that their career will be shit for the next 12 months.
And Velveteen Dream wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Who's he got at TakeOver, do we know?
Does he have someone to take over? The interwebs.
If we've still got to have the next tapings in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I still wish I could go to those.
I know it'd be weird, even if it was like on the pre-show, rather than on the main pay-per-view style presentation. I'd be intrigued to see Velveteen Dream versus Pete Dunne.
Wouldn't have a problem with that. Considering the fact they're starting to really hype up the 205 roster now with Triple H taking over the book.
Is Velveteen Dream in the right bracket for 205?
I would say so. Patrick Clark is not that big.
Yeah, if Roddy can get in and all that.
No, he'd have to cut weight, but it's also kayfabe weight too. So he's listed as 228. So technically speaking, they could either lie or he could just drop the weight. Losing about 15 pounds is something that's doable. Hi, I'm Owen. It's what I do apparently nowadays. And in other news, Velveteen Dream has joined the April Fit Club. Anyway, we're gonna have Patrick Clark running with us in the morning around the Portofino. Oh boy. So the thing is, there's a lot of different directions you can go right now. WrestleMania and TakeOver are just kind of up in the air right now, really. So I'm curious to see where we actually go from here. Pyro asked if we saw Apollo versus Moose.
Hang on. Apollo versus who?
Moose.
Oh, from PCW?
That's my guess, yeah.
Not off the top of my... No. I know Apollo made it through to the final, which I'm surprised about considering he was going to be wrestling 36 hours later. in Cali, for the 4/5 way, as it became. So yeah, I didn't catch that one actually.
Yeah, apparently, according to Cage Side, he lost to a standing shooting star press.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And of course, history was made tonight. Because it's the last Raw before last Raw before if I can find the right words. The brand rejoining. The brand split for pay-per-views is officially over. That's what I meant to say. Once we get after this and SmackDown's Fastlane, everything from WrestleMania onwards is going to be co-branded pay-per-view, which meant that experiment failed.
I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with elongating the pay-per-views.
I mean, that's if they do.
I hope they don't. I really don't want this to happen.
In all honesty, they don't have to, because they didn't elongate them the first time. And in more cases often than not, it helps for. See, if that now means that, rather than have a men's match in a Hell in a Cell, it could just be the women's match on one brand.
I mean,
to counteract the other one being the men's Hell in a Cell.
Hyro has a point about in chat. He says Pete Dunne will never lose the UK title. Honestly, to be quite honest, I know exactly who I'd have Dunne drop the belt to, and he's not even on the roster right now.
What, Neville?
The answer is Neville, without a doubt.
Neville's a shout.
Mandrews would be a dark horse.
McIntyre?
McIntyre's a great idea. Oh my God, McIntyre and Dunne. I want to see that match now.
McIntyre would fit. I mean, if it has to, logically, it'd have to go to a UK person, because then it's like, well, why are we calling it the UK Championship?
It's too bad there's not a way to do it so he can work with Regal. Because that's going to be the closest Regal would get to a world title.
I'm trying to think.
Run a program with Dunne and Regal, started at NXT, and have it culminate in a UK show where he takes the title. And then have him drop it back. But I'd love to see I want to see Regal work a couple more matches. I don't know if he physically can, but
personnel.
One Triple S says, can Travis Banks get the same deal that Pete Dunne did because he wrestles for Progress?
Maybe. Possibly, but I don't know.
Yeah, the issue with not doing co-branded pay-per-views is probably what Hyro brings up. We're going to get more title matches.
Keep in mind as well, if we're talking about the British scene, he is like chief head trainer for like 3 different wrestling schools.
Right.
Including Fight Club Pro. Who, by the way, now have the Defiant Wrestling Women's Champion in Millie McKenzie. Yeah, they put her over on Kaylee Ray. I'm amazed. Then again, I don't even know what happened on the rest of that show. I still need to catch up on that. I am just looking through the NXT list because I'm thinking that's the obvious list. Danny Burch doesn't fit in terms of an opportunity.
Yeah, he's basically a part-timer now anyway.
Dane?
That would be great. Oh, man.
Dane would fit?
Dane would be great.
I mean, Leo Rush would be a swerve.
That'd be a good one too.
But rumor is he might be on 205 Live in the next week or so.
I don't think it's much of a rumor. I think it's pretty much a necessity now. I mean, honestly, even though he's not a UK talent, you could do it with Roddy if you really want to.
It's a bit too early because of everything that's happening. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for Wolfgang or. I mean, if they wanted to call him up, Jordan Devlin would be perfect. But then it's like, would they? Because obviously he's got a lot of stuff going himself over in OTT and a lot of other stuff. The swerve, I'd say, if you're going to give it to somebody that isn't British, the former Donovan Dijak.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And also because I want to see the match, Pete Dunne versus Drew Gulak. Holy fuck. That's strong style. That is strong style.
One Triple S said Aleister Black if he doesn't win the NXT title.
Yeah, but that's like... Yes, but at the same time, I think it makes sense for him to have that title.
I'm pretty sure he's definitely winning.
Because I honestly think the feud for the rest of the year is him and Cole.
Yep, that's definitely the feud the rest of the year.
I honestly think that's what you're going to get for... I guess would it be TakeOver Chicago 2?
That makes sense.
Money in the Bank?
Yes.
And then SummerSlam... I mean, whichever angle you want to go, perhaps a rematch. And, then you've got to consider, is this where Ricochet comes in? In terms of the tag stuff, when did War Machine get an opportunity? What happens with Ciampa? Hell, what happens with Gargano? Because, actually, come to think of it, where is Gargano? Why isn't he listed? Was I not reading it properly? Oh no, there he is. I was misreading it. I couldn't find it. I mean, if you wanted to do a swerve, have fucking Tyler Bate drop the belt to Kaylee Ray, not Kaylee Ray, but the fucking what's her name? Trainer. Sarah Del Rey.
Sarah Del Rey.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, just randomly have her show up.
One Triple S is talking about Will Ospreay. Didn't I hear something recently about Ospreay had turned down WWE?
Ospreay's doing enough in pushing the UK scene as well as Australia and New Zealand, as well as obviously Japan. He doesn't really need it right now.
No.
I mean, okay, because of his style, he's probably only got about 3 years left. But he wouldn't be doing that style in the E anyway.
Oh, of course not.
So I think he's trying to make a name of himself.
Yeah.
Before the E and before basically transitioning to the somewhat easier but still obviously somewhat snazzy high-flying style that he could do.
Talking about Hiro says, didn't Gargano have a loser leaves NXT with Almas? Yes, he did. And the issue with that is I think they're using it to be able to build to the match with Ciampa. He says, I feel the champion should do indie bookings to make it more prestigious. I'm guessing you're talking about the UK championship would be done.
He faced Aries.
Yeah, I know he
Destiny
did.
Wrestling. He's been defending it in Progress. He'll probably defend it as part of WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And the stuff that they've got going. Actually, come to think of it, have we got pro? I'm just because I can look at it now. Progress Wrestling's next show. Oh wow, they've just announced Angelico is going to be in Super Strong Style 16. Oh, this Sunday is the Thunder Bastard. Ooh, that's always good. The Thunder Bastard. Well, we know there ain't going to be a title opportunity then. So yeah, it's called Thunder Bastards a Go because Thunderbirds. So it's new entrants every 2 minutes, elimination by pin, submission, or DQ. No over the top rope or anything. I think this is the end of the match. And there's no more people being added. So by the looks of it, we have our 7. And this is a ridiculous 7. Mandrews, Chris Brooks, TK Cooper, Flash Morgan Webster, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate.
Wow.
One of those 7 is probably challenging Banks. The interesting story would be Pete Dunne because of the history, building on from last year when Banks wanted Dunne by winning the Thunder Bastard and cash it. Well, no, sorry, no, he won Super Strong Style 16 and cashed it in, actually, come to think of it. So there's different stuff they could do there for sure. Keep in mind as well, Progress are doing like 3 or 4 shows in Australia. Just the sort of pairing up with promotions, just like New Japan are. I remember the name eventually. Keep in mind as well that Fight Club Pro is actually having a WrestleMania weekend show as well as Progress. So this gives me some interesting stuff. Shane Strickland's going to be at the 2 Progress New Orleans shows. Ginny, the women's champ, or could have been women's champ, but with injuries and everything, couldn't do anything there. Ooh, Sexy Star of Sexsmith and David Starr versus the Anti-Fun Police. I mean, there's some interesting. Oh, look, and there's over half the tickets for Be Here Now have already gone. Jonah Rock versus Zack Sabre Jr. Like, geez. There is Travis Banks versus Matt Riddle this Sunday. Bro, literally. I mean, I don't know whether there's anybody that is truly on the Dunn sort of level to challenge him, which is annoying. I mean, how if you wanted to do the big swerve, Finn Balor, although it probably would be seen as a step down to some extent. Sheamus doesn't fit. Who else is English that's on the roster? Nobody on SmackDown, is there?
I mean, this isn't impossible now, but I actually wouldn't have mind seeing Pete Dunne and Wade Barrett.
Part of me is also wondering, have we got Raw male wrestlers?
One Triple S is asking about Low Key. He's working MLW.
He's doing some MLW stuff, but I don't know whether he go back to the E.
I don't think he will. Hire ass if Honor Club is worth it.
Bonner Club.
Honor Club.
Oh, I need to have a quick look at that because I haven't seen the full details on that.
It's
so
not a bad deal.
I'm looking at the crew. I mean, would Jack Gallagher be an opportunity?
Not anymore. He's a heel now. Don't forget that.
Duh.
I think his ship has sailed, as much as I hate to say it.
If you wanted to repackage him, I don't know.
Good.
I mean, it'd be weird for Cesaro to step down, but him and Dunn could have a very good match.
I definitely want to see that when Dunn gets brought up to the main roster.
Yeah, there's nobody on the SmackDown side that's even anything close to English.
So,
quick look at the details on the Honor Club stuff.
I'm looking at it right now. So it's not bad. I mean, it's $9.99 a month. If you buy an annual, it's $100. If you buy VIP, it's $120. It's not a bad deal, really.
Yeah, so it gives you access to the on-tour shows, which is basically all the other house shows that they do. And obviously the history, the VOD stuff, so all the TV episodes, all the old pay-per-views, all the old live shows. Although, interestingly, the current VOD archive only goes back to 2011.
That's not good.
So there isn't any of like the old like Final Battle 2010 stuff yet. I'm guessing more will be added to it, hopefully.
Or the original Key Joe Daniels matches.
I guess the issue with some of that would be because of the NWA deal.
Probably.
To some extent. But then again, I'm pretty sure it was a Ring of Honor World title and nothing to do with NWA back in 2010.
So you get the on tour, the television, the VOD vault when it's until it's updated. And you also get pay-per-views.
50% off reduction off. As well.
One is half off and one is just pay-per-views in general. If you get the VIP, you can get Pro Shop 15% discounts and early access to live tour show tickets.
Which, if you think about
it's not bad.
For the 120, which is obviously $9.99 a month, which you obviously pay up front.
Right.
You get the access to the archive for the entire year and all pay-per-views for free, as well as live streams of certain like on tour events, like they did with Global Wars last year.
Right.
When 3 of the 4 nights were shown live, as sort of like special live VOD, live online streams and whatever. The thing as well, if you just want to get access to the archive, at $100 a year, you're basically getting 2 months free with you instead of your $9.99 a month. Yeah, it's the equivalent to some extent as well with the ringside member stuff, where you'll get first access to ticket sales, with pre-sale codes and whatever, and also 15% off the Ring of Honor shop and all that.
Hyro says, when is Taya Valkyrie coming back to Impact?
Technically, possibly in April.
I think it's possible.
Because the only reason they couldn't use it the last time was because Canada.
Yep.
But if they're not doing anything in Canada anymore, because logistical reasons and they can't get the people that they want, it makes sense to do it out of Orlando. That's why it didn't make sense for me to relocate everything to Canada, because nearly all of them are based in or around the Orlando area, because that's where it made sense for them to work from.
Yep. And those are official now, too. Dates in April. Very excited that Impact's returning back to my literal home away from home.
Because apparently, fuck Toronto.
I guess.
I love the fact it's like, yeah, we're doing a show in Toronto. Oh, where? Oh, wait, we didn't look for a fucking venue. Orlando. Yeah, Orlando, Toronto. Yes. Honestly, it's a new city. Yes. And everything.
So yeah, we are waiting for more information, and once I get more information on the actual taping times, I will be able to leave that out with everybody.
New Japan is not for kids.
So it's April 22nd. Irony, the day after her birthday. So it's going to be it's the 22nd to the 27th. So it's going to be taping Monday through Friday, and then the pay-per-view is going to be on Sunday. I'll get to that in a minute. Hyro says it sucks that Michael Elgin got booed.
Oh, I'm getting distracted that my favorite wrestler ever, Chris Wolf's doing podcasts. The first line is brilliant. Note to self: record podcasts indoors and away from trains and Mario Karts. What?
Right.
What was it that Ira said? Or one SSS?
Michael Elgin getting booed.
Oh yeah, the AAW stuff. I'm surprised they didn't see it coming. But I understand the logic behind what they did.
Right.
I also understand the hatred behind it. Because until he clears his name, because apparently, he has gone into legal proceedings in terms of, trying to clear his name from what he says are the untrue facts that are being reported. He probably is going to be persona non grata. The thing that I feel is a little bit cruel is some people, because he was showing up as sort of a surprise, unadvertised guy on IWA Mid South, which they were promoting themselves to watch on Powerbomb.tv. There were some people going as far to say boycott Powerbomb.tv. Which I feel might be the wrong move, in all honesty. But yeah, if Elgin manages to clear his name, I think he will get accepted back in. If it all comes out that, he doesn't clear his name, I don't know what's going on. Because I don't think there's much chance of him getting much of a career aside from the Aussie, well, the New Zealand, not New Japan, God. I can't even think of anything. Sorry. One thing I do want to mention out as well. I don't want to say best wishes because, well, I guess I sort of do. There was an interesting message that came up through Lufisto's social media stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
She got the early signs of, I think it's cervical cancer. And thankfully, it was early enough that basically they've done the treatment and done the operations. And we're hoping that the tests will come back and she's going to be cancer free. So good luck to her, and hope everything goes well in that sense for sure. And I'm trying to think of the other big stuff that happened. I mean, the stuff that Owen doesn't know about because, you know, he hasn't been watching wrestling as, you know, life.
Running.
Dolph Ziggler's randomly facing, and we've now got a 5-way at Fastlane.
Yeah, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? First off, why is this a thing? This makes no sense. No, AJ's not losing at Fastlane. One Triple S asks if the Global Wrestling Network is worth it.
To be honest, not entirely, I would say. Oh wow, the GWN.Fight network doesn't even work. What? So the link that I did have doesn't work. Global Wrestling Network. I'm trying to remember what's on it. If anything. So Impact Wrestling, Classic Wrestling, and the website doesn't work. Indie Wrestling, and the website doesn't work. And documentaries, and the website doesn't work. And neither does the Impact Wrestling. I don't even know if the wrestling, if Global Wrestling Network fucking exists. Because I'm getting a shit ton of database errors.
Oh no!
So I think on that logic, everybody, no, it's not worth it. In all honesty, it's like I'm trying to click on these things, and yeah, I'd like to watch Impact Wrestling, please. Database error. Brilliant. It's like, well, this is brilliant. You know, Defy Wrestling's all right. That's a solid brand, but like Future Stars of Wrestling is okay. AML Wrestling, I haven't even heard of. They're saying, oh, we've got new stuff from Australia and Germany and the US independents. I don't even think they've got bloody I don't even think they've got the Smash Wrestling stuff on yet that I'm aware of. So I have no clue what's going on. But I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting on the clearance stuff. Have they got any Jeff Jarrett guitars?
So One Triple S says, wait, but to go to Impact, you have to buy Universal tickets. No, actually not true.
You can get a Jeff Hardy coloring book for 72 cents, motherfuckers.
Common misconception, actually, One Triple S.
I love it, Michael. I love it.
And due to my job, I can tell you this. When it comes down to it, all you have to do is go to the Blue Man Group courtyard, and you can actually either get tickets right there if they're being handed out, or if you just want to head up to the line itself, they can do standby. Now, if it's a pay-per-view, you're going to want to get there early, because if not, you're not getting in, because it only holds a little bit over 1,000 people in the Impact Zone soundstage. Any of the sound stages that are used for Impact tapings only hold about 1,000 people. So yeah, be there early. One Triple S also asked, hoping Rich Swann goes to Lucha Underground.
Wow, it'd be weird if he became Ricochet. The Inner City Machine Guns trade places. I just noticed you can get a Jeff Hardy baseball bat for $27.
This is why the podcasts go forever, because you start randomly looking at shoptna.com during the show.
I'm sorry, people brought up Global Wrestling Network, and one of the only links that fucking works is the one that goes to Shop TNA and also to ImpactWrestling.com. Rest of them fucking broken.
Favorite Mysterio match in WCW?
Ooh. Probably one of the Super Brawls.
I say Halloween Havoc against Eddie. Or Mysterio and Dean Malenko, because I'm a big Malenko mark. The Malenko Mysterio series, I put that up against nearly anything. Part of me wants to talk about the Mexican Death Match against Psychosis in ECW.
Superstar specials. Oh wow, they've actually got Sasha Banks and Bailey DVDs. I didn't even know they fucking existed. This is brilliant. So I'm trying to go back to. So I search Rey Mysterio and nothing comes up. But if I click on Life of a Masked Man, then it does come up. I just wanted to get a reminder of like what match contents there are on it. Yeah, I'd like to see that picture, please. Oh, great! I have to fucking zoom in. I can't even fucking. Brilliant! You put an image on every guys, and there we go. I can read it. I mean, some of the Nitro stuff from '97 with Guerrero and Jericho was pretty good as well.
Yeah, the matches against Jericho were great too.
There's none of the old stuff because it's on the other DVDs.
The Psychosis still
for them because they don't exist.
Psychosis still doing Nicho El Millonaro in Mexico, or is he back to being Psychosis again?
I think he's doing some stuff. I think he's Psychosis or Psychosis and Crash.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let me go to Cubs fan, see if I can see his name. Because they'll have all the latest shows. Mysterio and Psychosis for the World Tag Team titles on AAA. So yeah, he's still. I think that's the same Psychosis. Oh, he's only listed twice because I guess AAA didn't do anything with him. I guess that's the other thing that we can mention that I guess I'll be bringing up at some point. What this mystery fucking show is. Did you hear about this, Owen?
Oh, the Nashville tapings of James Storm?
Yeah, the tapings for something. The rumor is that it's whatever the relaunch of Memphis Wrestling is.
I'd buy that. Is that Aero Lucha?
Well, they haven't said it's Aero Lucha. That's the swerve. Well, swerve. That's the thing that I thought they would have said. They basically it's an NDA style thing, so we don't know who it is. They haven't disclosed. The cast list doesn't fit to be an Aero Lucha show, though. That's the thing. Because if you look at that casting call, Storm's there, who was on the Aero Lucha stuff, but there's none of like the Lucha people. Which, if it is Aero Lucha, that sort of fits the description to some extent. So who knows?
That might be our show then.
Yeah, but it's a pretty ridiculous few weeks that I've got to come back on because I've got to cover whatever the shit's been happening with 5 Star that I've been missing for the past couple of weeks. I don't know whether it's got better. Then again, I haven't seen people tweet about it negatively this week. So, we've got the ICW Square Go to cover, the Ring of Honor house shows, and the upcoming New Japan shows that are coming this weekend. CW Mid-Atlantic had a show. CZW had its temporary home in Voorhees for the one show ahead of its big show this weekend in their new home of Asbury Park, New Jersey. We had the Preston City Wrestling Road to Glory thing. MLW had its show. Pro Wrestling Eve having a couple of shows. Freelance show getting delayed because of snow to this past weekend. PWG and craziness there. Kara's National Pro Wrestling Day with the most important tag team in quite a while showing up. Defiant Wrestling's pay-per-view. Wrestle Socus's Twitch show. Evolve 101. AAW and the shit that we sort of mentioned there. And then this weekend alone, apart from the Ring of Honor and CZW and Shikara stuff that seems to be on the docket, because I think Shikara's got another Hour of Power short show. We've got Fight Club Pro with a pretty strong card. AIW back in action. Femme Fatale and Smash Wrestling with a 2-night Canadian doubleheader. Beyond Wrestling has its next show. And then we've got Southside and Progress as well. And Progress with the Thunder Bastard. And all that on top of the fact that we've got Elimination Chamber 2. It is pretty redonkulous. Everything's getting busy as we get closer and closer to the busiest weekend of the year, which is obviously Mania weekend, and everybody and their mother having shows. Because, as Raul Julia would put it, of course!
All right.
But to me, it was Tuesday. Quite literally.
So one Triple S says with Gulak and Nice, 205 Live's getting better.
Oh, not just them. Strong Itami was. That's the other thing as well. If we're talking about the new regime with Raw, even if it doesn't exist, Triple H now being in charge of 205 means we're getting wrestling matches and little tidbits of story. And Tozawa getting buried.
So, will Jarrett ever relaunch Global Force?
No.
I doubt it. And this is the last one I have.
You know, if hell's keeping to freeze over, have him be general manager of SmackDown.
That'd work.
If Daniel's transitioning out because he's going back to wrestling because of his contract and everything, he'd make a sensible heel figure. And also, they'd make sure he wouldn't fucking wrestle. Then again, if you put him in that, you couldn't have him do wrestling on house shows and whatever. Well, not house shows, but, like other sort of events or whatever, like WrestleCon.
I mean, they give him a Legends deal, and then they could regulate his bookings.
To some extent, yeah. Then again, Goldberg's showing up at WrestleCon, isn't he?
I think so. Oh, yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah. Like Saturday, it's like, yeah, you've used me for the Hall of Fame. I'm going to WrestleCon.
So.
Then again, because WrestleCon's got some Fight Club Pro sort of connections, it's sort of WWE based anyway.
Right. And when Triple S says they can get Karen Jarrett for the general manager, Kurt versus Jeff Survivor Series. Oh, boy.
No, we don't need that again. We had enough of that backstage and all the shit that came from that nearly ended somebody's career. We don't need any more of that.
Pyro says Impact's dying. They have Gunner, Borash, and that loser Shera. First off, I hate Molly Shera with every fiber of my being. I don't know why they gave him any sort of a deal. Maybe it's his
He's
size.
going to be
Probably.
Dream.
God, I hope not. Shera's terrible. He needs to be retrained, so maybe
NXT
will help.
NXT. Sorry, Al, you're a bit of shit at training people.
No, it's just some people don't listen until you beat some sense into them.
Well, considering it's NXT, there we paddling.
Exactly. Yeah, I've never liked Shera Hyro ever. He's terrible. He is terrible in the ring. I don't buy him. He's not believable. He's got a look. That's all he's got, and that's all Vince needs. So I should have known this was going to happen. But yeah. Hyro says they need to get James Storm, reform Revolution with Perkins and Shera. No. I don't mind James Storm being in WWE. I don't mind James Storm being anywhere really. I like James Storm. Nice guy. Very nice guy. Very down earth guy too. I wouldn't mind him working with Perkins again. That wouldn't be a problem. But I wouldn't mind him working with Bobby Roode again. That'd be great. Let's say like Roode's working with another heel on SmackDown brand, and next thing you know, it's like I need someone that knows you. Like I went and I found someone that knows you better than you know yourself, and there's James Storm.
Kaboom!
And that's what you do, and that'd be great. I didn't like the Ring to King stuff, Pyro. I really didn't. It just felt odd and disjointed. So that might be our show then.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't talk about tonight that I kind of wanted to talk about was TJ Marconi.
Oh, this stuff. The wrestlers were tweeting about avidly because TJ was on Grimm's promotion, wasn't it?
It's not Grimm's promotion. It's SWF.
Oh, okay.
It's Rob Fury's promotion, actually. I'll definitely talk about this.
Might as well.
Yeah, that'll be the last thing we talk about before we go home tonight. So, have you seen the match in question?
I've seen the aftermath of the power bomb, which was
Drax dropping him right on his knees. It looked like he could have broke his neck the way he bent him too. Like he got in there. It's like when everything went down. Like Ace Marksman hit the ring. He took a shot, and then he choke slammed Landscaper, and then he decks Dalton right in the freaking ear and basically busted his eardrum. And then he picks up Drax and he hits a Dominator and he just like drops it, like awkwardly dropped him, so it looked like he landed on his neck, but he also was like landing on his knees. I mean, this was a Twitter war between TJ and Dave, and it's one of those things that it's gotten completely out of hand. There's another promotion that's actually unbooked TJ Marconi for unprofessional conduct. I mean, I've done work shoots before with somebody that at the time I could honestly say was my worst enemy on the face of planet Earth, where we were literally going into business using real personal information to get over a storyline. Anything you say in the wrestling business, you can always say is a work. This feels really real. Like it's been weird because I've been watching. Yeah, Melendez is good. Like I said, I hate Shira. The thing is, and I'll keep saying that too. The thing about Grimm's toy show that a lot of people don't realize is Grimm is a trained professional wrestler. Now, granted, he's a YouTuber just like I am, just like we are. But by and large, he is trained professional as a wrestler. Now, granted, the terminology that is usually used by workers that make it their job is weekend warrior. Like, I go to a 9 to 5, and then on the weekends, I put on the boots and tights and I entertain the crowd. And Grimm has a full-time job, and he still finds time to work independent shows in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. And he also films his GTS wrestling multiple times a week. He has, just like us, his daily content. Wrestling content and also vlogging content.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because it started a while back. TJ did not take kindly to Grimm being in a locker room. He made derogatory statements about him, called him a backyarder, which, I mean, to some extent, that's a correct statement, but an incorrect statement. He did wrestle in his grandmother's backyard. That's a shoot. That's correct. But he is a trained professional wrestler. And Grimm's Toy Show, if you want to talk about, Robbie E's a regular for Grimm's Toy Show. And for a while, Falaba was working for the company. And Rhett Titus is a semi-regular as well. A lot of the New Jersey indie talents work, at least do one-shots, like the Shook Crew. God, I love the Shook Crew so much. They're regulars now semi-regulars on Grimm's Toy Show now. First off, I mean, the one thing is like a venue. It was a smaller venue. It was a venue that was full of kids that wanted to see Grimm. And TJ immediately starts cursing. And he's like, I'm going to punch you right in your face. And he used the expletive. And it's like, this is like, you could talk. And he's like, so right when TJ hits the ring, Grimm powders to the outside. TJ basically like, get in the ring right now. Like, he throws his belts down. He doesn't really care. Grimm goes to cut a promo on him to try to keep up the entertainment aspect. And TJ's like, and he's like untightening his wrist tape. And he's like, I'm going to punch you right in the face as soon as you stop talking. Because it's like, he's literally believing he's making a mockery out of professional wrestling. And there's so many independent talents that have worked for and don't even work for Grimm that have come out about this. And in defense for Grimm against TJ.
The interesting ones that I saw, David Starr was trying to get more info on it. Janela was giving his thoughts, even Paige.
Nicole Matthews is on that list. I saw that a little bit ago.
JT Dunn, I think, as well.
Yep. Say what you want about. It's funny because Grimm grabs the mic and he basically says, say what you will, but I'm the one that packed this building. And it's the truth, because nine times out of 10, you're going to have screaming kids screaming for Grimm. And that's who brought the house, not TJ Marconi. And now it looks like they ran some sort of after the match was over. So Grimm takes a huge beating, and then he gets the big boot, and he gets pinned, and then he basically quits the promotion. And the next night, he returns to do a 6-man tag. It's him, Rob Fury, and Doo-Hop, and they had their face painted like Rob does, and they were facing off against 3 guys from Grimm's Toy Show, which are Joe Wolf, Hollywood Hooligan, and Kurt Bale. So they worked a 6-man. They went over. And then after the match is over, Doo-Hop leaves the ring. And next thing you know, Fury gives Grimm a short arm clothesline, leaves him laying. He says, "You don't have to quit because you're fired." And then Grimm just walks out on it. And like, I have a feeling this is going to have a huge backlash on SWF. I really do. It's already got a backlash on TJ because, like we mentioned before, he's already been unbooked from some of his appearances for his unprofessional conduct.
Well, from one promotion, and I haven't seen anything yet. So I know he's done some shows recently for House of Glory.
Yeah, he no-showed a show to work. He no-showed an SWF show to work for another promotion that night.
I know House of Glory's next show is March 10th. So we'll have to see what happens in the next few weeks, as obviously we build towards that in terms of where he is on the undercard and all that.
Right. So, One Triple S says, wouldn't be surprised if WWE signed Jesse Goddard and teams him up with Tino Sabatelli. Oh my God, you mean they'd be the same person?
Yeah, that's why they couldn't do it.
It'd be the Gemini twins version 2.0 without masks.
It's doink and dink.
Oh God. One Triple S says Laurel Van Ness. Yeah, Chelsea Green's already been in WWE. Hyro brought that exactly up. It was a fake affair with Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah, that was her.
Yep.
And then she was tough enough.
Correct.
And then they got rid of her.
Also correct.
And they kept the one that fucking left because she didn't want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Logic. Yeah, I think if she did want to go, she could, but I think she's probably okay at the minute just doing the indies.
Totally.
Because she did very well on Wrestle Circus this past weekend because she turned into Laurel by some sort of weird transformation.
Working
then
Leva
again,
Bates
Leva Bates
as
is
Zack Ryder. Yes.
So, you know, things. Keep in mind, I can't remember. One of the promotions that she's in next, Chelsea Green, is facing Laurel Van Ness. I think it's Black Label Pro, from what I remember. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Chelsea Green is going one-on-one with Laurel Van Ness. Yep, that might be a bit complicated.
So
anyway,
I think that's our show.
Mm-hmm.
Hyro, last thing he's saying, they should induct Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay. I'd love to see Schiavone go in the Hall of Fame. That'd be great.
Could you? Well, I mean, Schiavone wouldn't be classified as celebrity, but and we put Soli in. Is Soli in?
Yeah.
Is Soli?
Yes.
I just don't remember. I just remember Jim and Jerry. It was in the last few years, wasn't it?
Yes. It's been a minute. So
let me double check what year that was because I'm trying to remember. Oh, back in 08. Yeah. With Ric Flair and all that.
So once again, I think that's our show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, whether live or in archive. Great chat, as always, with One Triple S and Hyro. And we will see you guys back again. Wednesday's up in the air. We'll find out. If there's a show, it'll be posted on Twitter.
You know, you should go in the Hall of Fame, even if it isn't in the normal thing, but in the Pioneers. fucking Misawa.
I can see that.
I
He
mean,
did a
if they-
lot of WWF matches back in the day, so that could work.
Even if they don't put him in as like a regular or just as, just in the legend section, then again, because he's so modern, that wouldn't make sense for the legend section, really, would it?
Oh, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, really.
I mean, logically, this year, considering the whole new sort of British push, and considering how many British talents are obviously going to be in there because of British shows, I wouldn't be surprised if they put in Big Daddy as one of the legends.
Eventually, I could see that.
As one of the pioneers sort of thing, because he didn't really do anything in terms of WWF from what I remember.
Wasn't Misawa one of the original Tiger Mask?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. Come to think of it as well, somebody's also overdue in the Hall of Fame. But again, it wouldn't be anything to do with WWE, really. Johnny Saint?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's definitely happening.
That needs to happen sooner rather than later. But then, we're obviously not going to be doing anything in terms of credited by WWE for promoting shows that gave future WWE superstars like AJ, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young their first major exposure. Can't name them to you now, but we can say promoting shows.
All right.
It's AJ and Roode and Young and Angle and Sting. And I actually just come to think of it, they bring up Styles, Roode, and Young, not Joe. That's a bit harsh.
Indeed. So, Asher, where can we find you on social media?
I'm on Twitter at Ashes My Name UK.
Okay. Snack Stash coming back later this week. We also have Gaming with Ash returning soon. Ashley has a wrestling video to do eventually.
Yeah. Catch up with the that stuff, UFC, all that juiciness before we get to Sunday.
So lots of stuff coming your way, and we'll be talking about that in the near future. We got awards content still coming on the network. We had a BAFTA podcast came out yesterday if you want to check that out. And we got our Oscar predictions, which are coming as of right now, Sunday, but we'll see what happens with that, along with Elimination Chambers podcast. That's going to be coming your way this weekend. AJ content with movie reviews and verses, and I got Sip and Snack coming later this week, and other content on this network. So stay tuned. So follow me on Twitter at Suro and Disney. Follow the network at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more you've chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we're going to say about that.
Yeah, what he said.